Look, I originally was not going to do any of the statements to Bryan Kohberger after the Idaho murders trial. I don't really do victim impact statements anymore, and I'll get to why in a second. But I felt like this one was not only important, but it was interesting. And I think that Olivia, Kaylee's sister, wanted this to be heard and knew that it would be heard. And I'm sure you guys saw last week, this clip was everywhere. I was shocked to realize that the actual version of it was about 10 minutes long, where she does express herself a bit, but she slowly and methodically rips through this man. Now, I mentioned before that I originally wasn't going to do this video. I wasn't going to talk about this. And the reason why is because years ago, I used to do a lot of different pieces of true crime, whether it be 911 calls or victim impact statements. And over the years, I've come to feel like although there's a camera in the room for those victim impact statements, this is a moment for the victim or victims' families to really say how they feel to these people, and it's personal. However, after I watched Olivia's statement in full, I fully believe that she wanted her words to be heard. So we're going to keep it just to her statements, even though there were, a few others you can watch online. We'll put a couple links in the description, but I just want to keep it to hers because I think she does a very good job of knowing exactly what Bryan Kohberger is and how to not give him any energy that he wants.
Hello, I'd like to start by thanking the court for allowing me the time and opportunity to speak today. My name is Olivia, and I'm the big sister of Kaylee Gonzalez, and I was blessed to love Madison Mogan as a sister too. I'm not here today to speak in grief. I'm here to speak in truth. Because the truth is, my sister Kaylee and her best friend Maddie were not yours to take. They were not yours to study, to stalk, or to silence.
I really like that she starts off with this because people that have, and I'll just say egotistical for the sake, but whether they're sociopathic, narcissistic, psychopathic, they tend to have this quality where they firmly believe that they have ownership over victims, people in their life. Like they believe that everyone around them are just something that they own. It's very deep in their psychology. So I really like that she starts off by saying like, you did not own them, because it breaks this reality that he has. These people, especially psychopaths, they want to be God to people.
They were two pieces of a whole, the perfect yin and yang. They are everything that you could never be. Loved, accepted, vibrant, accomplished, brave, and powerful. Because the truth about Kaylee and Maddie, they would have been kind to you. If you had approached them in their everyday lives, they would have given you directions, thanked you for the compliment, or awkwardly giggled to make your own words less uncomfortable for you. In a world that rejected you, they would have shown mercy.
Oh my God.
Because the truth is, I'm angry. Every day I'm angry. I'm left shouting at the inside of my own head everything I wish I could say to you.
I want to stop here for a second. She is doing such an amazing job, and also part of this is for her own healing too. But like, to take it back to those people that are fucking psychopaths, you would be shocked if you understood like the monologues that psychopaths and narcissists like have in their head. And when you tell somebody like this, I am angry, I am screaming, I'm upset, they don't feel what we feel, like, oh my gosh, I've done that, I've done something horrible. They feel, yes, I did that to you. I had the power to do that to you. I own you. I control you. These people do not have direct relationships with other human beings. They only have relationships to power and control. So to hear that you're hurting, to them, it's like a win. It's like they had the power to do that to you. But her saying that in the moment is for her own healing and her own expression. And it's not just to him, it's to the entire court.
The truth about me.
But she knows
when
that.
I heard the news, I didn't cry. I listened for them. I promised them I would. That I would fight for them. That I would show up, no matter what it cost me. I swore I'd never let them feel alone. Because you see, I've always been their heavyweight. I've always been the one to fight the battles they didn't feel ready to fight themselves.
Oh my God, big
All it ever
sister.
took was a call, and they knew I would handle it for them, no matter the time, no matter the cost. They could wave their white flag because they knew I would never back down. Not for them, and not even death could change that.
That is so powerful. She basically just says, I'm a big sister. I'm her, which by the way, this makes me so like, I'm jealous of not having a big sister right now. She's like, that is what I am. That is my identity. And even though you did the worst possible thing to me and my family, you are not taking away a sliver of my identity. I am and will always be Kaylee's big sister. That is so powerful.
If I could gather enough heartbreak or love or sacrifice or whatever it took to get just one message across, what would I say? Throughout this entire process, I've written my feelings down at every moment, my wishes, my love, my denial, my anger. And as one final act of love, I'd planned to read these thoughts, even jarring and discombobulating and not even making sense. Because for me, that was true love, as bare and as naked as it could be, not laced in pretty words or dressed for the occasion, but written through bleary eyes at 2 a.m. with clenched fists, angry at this reality. My true final act of love was to continue on without them, for them.
Oh. Another thing she's doing that's really, really great is people like this, ego people, once again, like I said, that's your narcs, psychopaths, sociopaths, whatever. They, ego people, that's your narcs, that's your psychopaths. I actually shockingly would leave the sociopaths out of this because they're just like a totally different fucking breed. These people savor memories of pain. I had a very interesting conversation a while ago with a narcissist that was very old, and in his old age, the memories he has of women and people in his life that he wronged, he remembers their pain. He remembers the way that they cried or the ways that they looked at him and how obsessed with them they were. These people do not remember anything other than the emotions that they had control over you in the moment. And so in this statement, she is not really giving him anything to hang on to, nothing to replay. And he's looking for it. He's looking for those moments that he can replay that are like, oh, I caused her pain. And she's letting out her feelings, but she's not giving him those moments, which I just really like.
That dream to read aloud my love to them, to bring meaning through pain, was the latest blow in realizing you don't deserve it.
Ooh.
And Kaylee and Maddie don't need it. Kaylee and Maddie have always known my love, and they would never ask me to prove it by further victimizing myself to a defendant who has shown no guilt, no remorse, no apprehension. They would say to me, why would you give the satisfaction of showing vulnerability now? You promised you would never back down. And for that clarity, I'm thankful. I won't stand here and give you what you want. I won't offer you tears. I won't offer you trembling. Disappointments like you thrive on pain, on fear, and on the illusion of power.
Yes!
And I won't feed your beast. Instead, I will call you what you are. Sociopath, psychopath, murderer.
Yep.
I will ask the questions that reverberate violently in my own head, so loudly that I can't think straight most any day. Some of these might be familiar, so sit up straight when I talk to you.
Ooh! Holy
Right before you murdered my sisters.
Sad. Disappointing.
Did you prepare for the crime before leaving your apartment? Please detail what you were thinking and feeling at this time. Why did you choose my sisters?
Oh my God. You know, I think that this line is really interesting. She says, please detail what you were thinking and feeling at this time. Bryan Kohberger, when he committed these, he tried to position himself as somebody that was studying the girls and watching them like he was some type of omnipotent force. But what Olivia has just done is she flipped it. Now she made him the specimen that was under the microscope. Now she's asking him the questions that he used to ask himself to savor the pain. Now she has taken the agency away from him and she asked it to him. You get what I mean? It makes it less, he's feeding off of the power and she just takes it away from him. I mean, it's so good. She really understands how he works.
Did you approach my sisters? Detail what you were thinking and feeling. Before leaving their home, is there anything else you did? How does it feel to know the only thing you failed more miserably at than being a murderer is trying to be a rapper?
I'm sorry. That's the end of the stream. I had no idea. Olivia! I've always said that murderers should not be put on a screen and interviewed like they're so scary like they did in the 70s. They should be publicly humiliated. They should have their worst insecurities laid out right in front of them for the public, exactly how she did. This is correct!
Did you recently start shaving or manually pulling out your eyebrows? Did you truly think your Amazon purchase was untraceable because you used a gift card?
I can't. Oh my God.
How do you find it enjoyable to stargaze with such a severe case of visual snow?
I never thought that I would fully support somebody attacking somebody's visual snow or trichotillomania. She was like, you know what? Let's just drop this in here. Sorry. Like, do it. I also just want to point out, she's asking some questions that, don't generate too much of a response. And then she's throwing absolute roasts in between. I mean, the emotional whiplash. Guys, this is truly a masterclass in fucking somebody like this guy up. It really is. It's very well done.
What did you bring into the house with you? What was the second weapon you used on Kaylee? What were Kaylee's last words? Please describe in detail the level of anxiety you must have felt when you heard the Bearcat pull up to your family home on December 30th, 2022. Which do you regret more? Returning to the crime scene 5 hours later, or never, ever going back to Moscow, not even once, after stalking them there for months?
Dude, that's huge.
If you were really smart, do you think you'd be here right now? What's it? You're terrified of being ordinary, aren't you? Do you feel anything at all? Or are you exactly what you always feared?
Oh.
Nothing.
Oh.
If you're so powerful, then why are you still hiding, defendant? You see, I'm here today as me.
Look, this lady right here, Brian Kohberger's attorney, she's like, look, I did my job. Brian, I can't help you here. You did this, motherfucker.
Let's try to take off your mask and see. You didn't create devastation. You revealed it in yourself. Mm-hmm. And that darkness you carry, that emptiness, you'll sit with it long after this is over.
Psychopaths are they just have this black hole in their body, but they want to feel important so bad. So they orchestrate chaos and try to play God. So her just rubbing his nose in shit, saying like, you really tried to play God. You did here. And everyone's just looking at you now.
That is your emptiness. You'll sit with it long after this is over. That is your sentence. And it was written on the wall long before you ever pled guilty. You didn't win. You just exposed yourself as the coward you are. Mm-hmm. You're a delusional, pathetic, hypochondriac loser who thought you were so much smarter than everybody else. Constantly scolding, turning your nose up to grammar mistakes, nitpicking and criticizing others. Brian Kohberger was the type of guy that on internet forums, he would correct people's spelling. He was that type of guy. That's what he did. Oh, wow. Okay, somebody said BOZE. She's asking him the very questions he asked on Reddit to the criminals for his research. So if you missed that in the past, he had a little Reddit account where he had asked murderers a bunch of questions. So I guess she has turned a few of them back on him. You wanted so badly to be different, to be special, to be better, to be deep, to be mysterious. You found yourself thinking you were better than everyone else, and you thought you could figure out the human psyche and see through it, all while tweaked out on heroin. Lurking in the shadows made you feel powerful because no one ever paid you any attention in the light. You thought you were exceptional, all because of a grade on a paper. You thought you were elite because your online IQ test from 2010 told you so.
Embarrassing.
All of that effort just to seem important.
I'm sorry. Hold on. This sounds like somebody bothering me in a Roblox waiting room.
There is a name for your condition, though. Your inflated ego just didn't allow you to see it.
Okay.
Wannabe. You act like no one could ever understand your mind. But the truth is, you're basic. You're a textbook case of insecurity disguised as control. You're pathetic. You aren't special or deep. not mysterious or exceptional.
Wow.
Don't ever get it twisted again. No one is scared of you today. No one is intimidated by you. No one is impressed by you. No one thinks that you are important.
That's correct.
You orchestrated this like you thought you were God. Now look at you, begging a courtroom for scraps. You spent months preparing, and still all it took was my sister in a sheath. You worked so hard to seem dangerous, but real control doesn't have to prove itself. The truth is, the scariest part about you is how painfully average you turned out to be.
Oh, God.
The truth is, you're as dumb as they come.
Oh, my God.
Stupid, clumsy, slow, sloppy, weak, dirty. Let me be very clear. Don't ever try to convince yourself you mattered just because someone finally said your name out loud. I see through you. You want the truth? Here's the one you'll hate the most. If you hadn't attacked them in their sleep, in the middle of the night, like a pedophile. Kaylee would have kicked your fucking ass.
Yes! I truly, from the bottom of my heart, feel like it is very important, if anybody ever brings up the Idaho murders, it is very important to not focus on Bryan Kohberger, talk about the victims, and talk about that statement. That is one of the most powerful things I have ever seen in a courtroom. It didn't even come from an attorney. It came from it. Bro,